Hi, I'm Gavin,
I'm Oscar.
and welcome back to the Sound Project. So, Oscar, I wanted to talk today about something that's kind of near and dear to our hearts as far as something that we do here at Haverstick Designs, and it's the Echo Initiative, which is something, I believe it was maybe 3 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago, that you came up with the idea for it.
Yeah, around then. It was like, we have a lot of just kind of by the nature of who you've hired and the culture you've made, we kind of care a lot of that's kind of like a big aspect of our kind of company culture is that we really care about each other and we care about what we do and the value of what we do. And so I just wanted to kind of have a company activity where we, help the community and we engage with the community. And so then we kind of had this idea for ECHO, which stands for Engaging Community Through Humanitarian Outreach. Yeah. And it's kind of our initiative of how the company gives back to the community and how we interact with the world.
Which I thought was a brilliant name for it, using an acronym for ECHO for something that we'd like to do like this. So it's there's a lot of aspects to the ECHO initiative. Like when you first came up with it, like one of our first thoughts was like, man, if we could help some clients that are maybe like underprivileged or maybe don't have the budget to hire us normally, but it's a cause that we really believe in, that we could help on by discounting those services or doing them pro bono, which we've done some of those, and we'll talk about those. But there's other aspects of it too that we'd like to do.
Yeah, and it was very cool when we first came up with it. It was almost like a kind of like law of attraction in the world, where we came up with the idea, and it felt like right at that time we started 3 studio projects with organizations that were, creating these like uplifting community, kind of just like really healthy business practices of organizations that are helping, underprivileged youth or that are helping to, do nonprofit work and, music education, things like that. And so it has been really cool. Since we've done this and since we've kind of like put it out into the world that we want to do this, we've gotten more opportunities to help and give and do these things, which it felt like it was less before, and now we have a lot of opportunities to do it.
And it's always really exciting when a project opportunity comes in and it's like, hey, I think this could be an ECHO project, you know, and we've done a handful of them, maybe 5 or 6 of them so far since we started it. But then some of the other things that we want to kind of grow into doing is kind of part of our like employee wellness program is to do some more volunteering with things in the community, not only as a group but also individually, and being able to kind of pick organizations or events that you really believe in that you want to help out with. And I think that would just be really beneficial and fulfilling, but also just doing good work.
Yeah, and it's like I love that we have kind of like the group aspect of it where we're trying to do, group volunteer days, but then, you can do your own individual volunteer day where you're working with an organization that you really believe in. Yeah. And so I really believe in holistic health and holistic healthy business practices and things like that. And so something like this where we're helping the community, if it can be something that's personally fulfilling to you as well, that's even more special.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited about all of that. We also are looking to do like some targeted donations for community events, or like right now, like we do sponsor the Carmel Porch Fest. We're in Carmel, Indiana, and they have a event where bands play. They kind of close down the streets, and a lot of the houses in downtown Carmel have nice porches that they open up for bands to be able to play, and it's a nice community event. So with it being musically based, it's something that we help out with as well, and actually some of our bands play in it as well. Like my band Rivet Shack, and then Alex's band Wands played it in it as well. And so it's just a fun event that helps the community in a lot of ways, because they also help with scholarships and all sorts of things. So we like to do that. I mean, it really, we always get so busy with work and things like that, but it's important, I think, to take a break and to really like try to do something that's just bigger than ourselves and help out in that way. Yeah,
exactly. And it's, we've gotten to work with a lot of cool partners in doing it, where a lot of the, our say different partners that we work with, architects or AV integrators or different people in the music industry that are trying to do this kind of work. We've kind of gotten to partner with a lot of them through a lot of this as well. And so it's been a very cool kind of way of getting to know more people in the industry and people that are trying to do this kind of work
Yeah.
while still giving back to the community.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about some of the projects that we've worked on with the Echo Initiative. And these are either ones that we've done pro bono or just heavily discounted our services. The first one that I think of, and I think it was the first one that we did, was Heroes Camp. And I think it actually came in the week after we started the Echo Initiative. Like literally, I think we're still putting that section of our website up on the site, and Heroes Camp came through, and it's just an amazing place. You know, it was founded really to help kids that don't have fathers at home have a safe place to go after school. You know, to be in a it's a faith-based community, and it allows them to know that, you know, after school they don't have to go do something that might get them in trouble or be unsafe. It's like just a really welcoming environment. And they have like 3 full court basketball courts there. They've got a weightlifting area. They have a barber shop. They've got a commercial kitchen where they teach the kids how to cook, and just give them life skills. And they had a room that was a studio, and it was working for them, but they're like, it's not a really nice studio. It's just some place that we put up speakers and kids get to be creative, but they wanted to make it something that really would inspire the kids and give them opportunities. And so we got involved with that early on in the process, and we designed a studio for them, and actually is probably finishing up here in the next month or so. And I'm looking forward to kind of going up there and seeing how it turned out. And we've been in contact with Patrick and Diamond there at Heroes Camp. It's also just very uplifting every time I've gone to visit. I've been up there a few times, and it's just amazing to see the connection they have with all the kids there, and how it just feels like a home for them, you know, for the hours that right after school, before maybe their parents get home for their mothers get home from school, you know. And so it's really anytime. I mean, we love all of our projects. We love all of our clients, and I know that it means a lot to them when we're working with them, and that it's fulfilling a dream. But when you get to do something like that, it's just next level.
Yeah, and Diamond, the kind of head producer that works over there, that he's been making a lot of big waves in the Christian hip hop scene, and it's been really inspiring watching him grow throughout this process, seeing more like, you know, him, you know, put out so much cool music and so much cool work. And then it's so exciting to see to think of what he's going to do with this space, and all the, you know, the youth that are working in that, that are part of that program, are going to get to use this space and really develop those, you know, artistic skills that can be such a healthy, you know, outlet for anybody, but, you know, especially for these kids.
And it's so cool to see 2 people around the community step up to support the organization. Obviously, they work mostly on donations, and this whole studio project was covered by donations, I believe. And you know, they're doing a full Dolby Atmos mix room that these kids are going to have access to, something that they just otherwise wouldn't. And it's just going to be pretty amazing when it's all said and done and finished. And we'll definitely go up there and do a studio tour when that's time, and be able to show everybody that. Yeah,
and just it's going to be an awesome studio, you know, and so it's so exciting to be able to kind of create these awesome spaces for an organization like that. And so, yeah, it's just one of my favorite projects.
Definitely. Another one that we've been working on, it's right now it's paused for a little while, but Cornerstone Lutheran Church, downtown Indianapolis. There's a church there that had the vision to build a studio that would end up serving like the local homeless community, you know, and you know, it's just so important for people that have a musical talent or strive to have a musical talent to have that sort of outlet. And in particular, that community just typically doesn't have access to a space that they can be creative. And so at this point we've done the design of the space, isolation, interior, acoustics. It's just paused for a little while for kind of getting legs for the construction side of things. But I just that was another one when it came across and our desk, where it's like, man, it's here in our hometown as well, and something that we really wanted to be a part of.
Yeah, and that's one of the coolest things, is getting to help organizations that might not have the means to create, you know, like a space like that, or like, you know, because like building a recording studio is a big endeavor. It can be, really expensive, really labor intensive, really time intensive, especially for a lot of these organizations where building a recording studio, not even just budget wise, but just time wise, they have a lot of other things that are pulling that's pulling them in multiple directions.
Yeah.
And so, anything that we can do to like help kind of tame some of those obstacles, is exciting and something that we want to do.
In particular, on that project, we ended up, they want a lot of the treatments and the construction to be done by volunteers. And so sometimes that just takes a little bit more guidance throughout the project, and that's what we're here for. So, yeah. The next one is one that we got a call from Warren Hewitt from Produce Like a Pro, who's a good friend of ours, and we've done some things on his channel and helped him out with a studio at his previous location. And so Warren called us and said that he was working with the Gavin and King Foundation on a project for the UCLA Mann Community School Auditorium, and it's a school that was built back in the 1920s, and it was in kind of a nice area of LA, and then over time it just become a little bit more run down, and there's a lot of underprivileged people in that area, and the campus is beautiful. Like we were there, like we went there, and it's a kind of sprawling campus, but it's now outside, I believe, of the LA County School District, and so it doesn't get the support that it could financially. And so their auditorium, in particular, it's an older space, like 1920s. And acoustically, it just wasn't great. They were talking about how students would be working on a performance, like a theatrical performance, for months on end, and then the families would come in and they couldn't understand speech or anything like that. It just wasn't serving the school like it should. And so Warren asked us to be a part of that. You and I went out there when we were there for the NAMM show, I believe, and we did some testing. We did a modeling of the space, and we did some reports showing them what to do, and even involved some other companies, like Acoustical Fulfillment was involved with supplying acoustical treatment for the space of what we recommended, and just trying to pull as many people into it as we can to do a good thing for that community. Yeah,
and that was such a cool one of working with Warren Hewitt was so special, where I've been a fan of Produce Like a Pro for a while, and getting to work with him in this capacity was even more special, of kind of seeing him as he was just this huge producer to me, and then it was getting to just see this whole other side of him that I wasn't even aware of, and just that was really special for me as well.
Absolutely. So next one is actually a current project that we're working on, the Louisville Central Community Center, and we're kind of in the beginning stages of this. We were brought into the project by Mike DeFreitas at All Pro Integrated Systems, and it's a place near downtown Louisville that their mission is actually to advance equity through empowerment of economical disadvantaged children and families in the Louisville area. And they just have a lot of different ways to help that out through the arts, through career searches and assistance with interviews and jobs and things like that. And that was another one when Mike reached out to us about it. We just said, yeah, we want to help, and so we discounted our services for it to just be a part of it. But it's I went down there maybe a month ago and took some just initial physical measurements. It's pretty much kind of an open warehouse space that they're going to put an auditorium in there, and give a space for people in that community to have seminars or dramatic performances, musical performances. And so All Pro's doing a whole new sound system in that space, and then we're going to help with the acoustics.
Yeah. And like I love that kind of their mission of kind of just helping build people, with financial literacy or whatever, of just building people to grow in whatever areas that they need to, and kind of pushing like that holistic health side of things as well.
Yeah, when I was there, it was interesting to see, because talking to members of that organization, they were saying that area of Louisville just kind of got neglected at some point and just kind of almost forgotten about. And you can almost tell the transition point of where it just, the development kind of stopped. And so having this place in downtown Louisville to be kind of a beacon for people and offer hope and opportunity. It's going to be really fun to be a part of that.
Yeah, and developing those kinds of skills, the acoustical environment matters a lot. For like where you're learning, where you're practicing, where you're rehearsing, where you're performing. Kind of having like a strong acoustical environment allows you to really focus on honing those skills and improving in those areas instead of being hindered by the acoustics of a space or the lack of acoustical quality in a room.
No, it's going to be awesome. And the last one actually is really near and dear to myself. My church, Mercy Road Church here in Carmel, Indiana, they want to build a studio, and it's actually something that's going to be starting construction here in I think this month or next month. And obviously, I volunteer at my church quite a bit, and everyone knows what I do for a living. So when the idea of building a studio, they called me and asked if we'd be a part, and of course we wanted to do that. And it's just a one-room studio that's for mixing and songwriting and recording. And it's also going to have like Dante lines connecting to the auditorium, so they can use that as the live room. And they took some inspiration from the studio that we did for Tyler Joseph in his basement, so it's got a very similar vibe to that. But it's isolation wasn't a huge concern for them. It was more so just having a really nice interior acoustical quality, and it just means a lot. Like, it was kind of neat. On one Sunday, they were talking about this campaign of called Make Room campaign, where they're adding like 150 seats to the auditorium, because it was about 300 seats before, but then it with adding permanent seating and a little bit of a riser in the back, we were able to get to 450 and just be able to serve more people that way. But part of that was also to make room for the arts and to build the studio. And so when they were announcing that campaign, they actually threw up the renderings that we had done, that Tracy put together. I think she did those. And that is funny because they had announced that, like, one of the members of our church like is a prominent acoustical consultant. I think they said that we were the best consultant in the Midwest.
Wow.
I mean, I'll take that.
Their words.
Regional. No, but it was really fun to just see the opportunities there, because there's a lot of really great talent at our church that have had internships at Elevation Worship in North Carolina, and just the studio is going to give those people opportunities to create worship songs for the church and for others. Yeah,
that's so cool. And it's always so exciting seeing who's going to be using our spaces that we get to design, and that just where musicians will be growing and developing those skills. Yeah, so we just kind of wanted to tell people about that Echo initiative that we created, and it's still somewhat new. It's 2 or 3 years old, but it's like we're just so excited about the possibilities of ways that we can help people. And I would say that if any of you guys have ideas of other ways that we could make Echo Initiative even better than it already is, please leave those in the comments. And just really appreciate you guys being part of the S.O.U.N.D project, and we'll see you next week.